Hello and welcome to the show. We are back on a Car Mechanic Simulator, and today we are going to actually finish off some projects. We're going to sell the Galant after all of the hard work last time out. We are going to, as much as I like the Galant, we are going to sell it. $52,000 is what this car is worth after all of the restoration work. The tyres are probably the most expensive part that I did on that car. It was, what, $7,000 to buy, I think? So, yeah, it's gone now. We are going to finish off the RX-7 because I've been having that hanging around for ages. And, well, I didn't fix it up before because we couldn't do the body frame properly, so I kind of ignored it. Now we can do the body frame properly. We can use equipment, $1,000, to finally get rid of all of the rust. Look at that. Glorious, glorious RX-7. Much nicer. Now, do I have any bits? Oh, I have all sorts of crap in my inventory. I don't think I have any bits of RX-7. I think I might have chucked them already, to be honest. So, we will just go to the body shop and buy up all of the Mazda bits, if we don't crash, on the way through. RX, it does have a dash in it, just making... Ooh. There we go, game. Thank you. RX-7. Right, let's go and buy all of these various bits and pieces. I could spend forever going through the junkyard to try and find them and repair them, but bugger it. As far as I can see, I think we've only got one option, which is about everything in the game at the moment. Still looking forward to when we can have essentially what they end up calling it, essentially the tuning DLC, where we can actually have slight alternates if you so wish, because yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of body stuff to come. Oh, I need to have interior, of course we do. Did I just buy I had a window? Might have been, I think I'd actually, the window is like the last thing that I took out of the bloody car. There we go, or the windscreen, sorry I should say. Trunk window can go in there, and then bumper, I thought the car was white, but now that I see it, it is, I'm fairly sure, more beige than it is, or than it was white. We can change all of that. James May would be very proud of the RX. Now that we kind of put the black bodywork on it, it does look more beige than it does anything else. Right, if we go normal mode, we will, interior, I guess we can do interior from here. I can't buy stuff from there, can we? We can't buy stuff while in the interior mode, so we'll back out quickly. Interior shop. Now, I imagine the Mazda would have proper... Oh, maybe it's under RX-7 then. Okay, it's got a proper rear seat, at least. I'm guessing then this will just be seat of some sort. I swear there was a Mazda seat RX... Oh, okay, so the seat doesn't have the dash in it. Of course, that makes sense. Perfect, logical, bloody sense. That will. Oh, I forgot to get a steering wheel, of course. Does say I might have a steering wheel. I don't think I did. I'm fairly sure I chucked that as well. I guess maybe. Let's just go RX. There we go. That would have been the sensible way of doing things. Right. So we have the wheel. We'll get to interior. Interior assemble. There we go. I cannot imagine you get much legroom in the back of that. Bloody hell. Now, personally, I've never paid a huge amount of attention to the rear seats in an RX-7. Is that really how crowded it is at the back? The RX-8 that I have is surprisingly comfortable, apparently, for those that are sitting in the back of it. It's actually surprisingly spacious. That's ridiculous. If that is, I certainly know there are some cars that will have that level of legroom for the rear seats. Yeah, do let me know if that is genuinely how crowded it is at an RX-7. That's absurd. Anyway, that's the RX-7 basically done. What is it missing? Body is 7%? Oh, I know what we need to do. We need the interior detailing kit. You there. You go to second lifter B. Over here. Oh, we'll just surround this car with stuff. Use $100 to clean the car. Now are you at 92%? Ah, license plates. They're I think the only things that we are missing. Oh. We're getting caught on the interior detailing kit. God damn it. Right, back over to here. And then we've got a license plate shop. I'm going to close my eyes and we're going to select one from random. This one. We're going to have a Moldova. Ah, there we go. Moldova license plate. You know what? Sure. Why not? And then we will go assembly mode, rear license plate, and we're not going to go for a custom one because that's, again, excess money. If it's a car that you're planning on keeping, brilliant. If it's a car that you're just planning to sell on, not really much point. Likewise, not much point in me painting the car either because it costs me money that it doesn't. I don't think. Let's actually. I'll have a look. I guess. Car value 55 grand. Let's see if we go and paint it. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't make any difference to the price. But you know what? I'm one to experiment with stuff. So let's go and put it in the paint shop. Shall we? Then we go do a fancy paint. Oh, I smacked my face on the door. That wasn't clever of me. Don't let me operate doors. Apparently I can't do doors, let alone... Ooh, there are liveries for it. Okay, let's see what liveries we have got as options on this one. Oh, we can kind of have like kind of race liveries, or we can go for the Fast and Furious. No, I'm not gonna go for the cheap, easy way. As much as I approve of orange and black, I'm not gonna go for the easy option. Let's go for a. Do I want a white background, or do I want kind of like a black? Oh, we can go for a red if we fancy. Red, that's a lot of colours, though. I think this isn't the. I'll be honest. This is not the easiest of paint sort of shops that I've ever used. If I want, I guess if I want a black, I just put brightness down to 0, wouldn't I? Come to think of it. I don't know if I can pick individual. I guess I can't pick individual parts of the livery. White actually makes the most sense out of all of this for the livery, I think. A little bit too many colours going on. You know what? I'll take it, though. I'll take it. Paint car, yes. Right, so back to garage, I guess we go. I quite like it. Quite like it. And is it worth any more? No. It's worth the same. So it's really only worth doing those sort of things if you are planning on keeping the car. For this one, no, we're going to sell it. We're going to get another $55,000. Finally, getting some of the money back out, having got all sorts of collection of cars from buying random crap. That's all gone. We're going to head out. I'm not fussed about working on that at the moment. There are far too many cool mods to look at. To the Junkyard, and we'll see what we might find. That's the door. I know my own workshop. Well, when the first thing you see is a Clio V6, you are expecting it to be a pretty decent day. Is there anything of any interest over this way? No, there is not. There is just a Clio with a car. That's useless. So, normally you're supposed to be able to at least open the engine, or open the bonnet to see the engine, but because the way the Clio is, it's got engine cover and the trunk, you could open the trunk, but I can't actually look. There could not be an engine in there. There's one exhaust, and that's all we know in that Clio. Brilliant. As I said, Clio, a good starting find. Anything more? No. Nothing there. Oh, what's that I spy up there? I don't know. Ooh. Oh, now that could be interesting. That could be interesting. So, we have got a chop top one? Oh, I'm sat in it. But this will be the... I'm pretty sure it's not going to start. Funnily enough, no, because I bet it's missing most of the engine. Although it's a supercharged one. So this, I can't remember the year, so I'll have a look at the details. The 1932 Ford, a 2-carb supercharged V8. Near enough 560 horsepower. I'm going to have that. But interestingly, the roof seems like an optional part, because I have seen these with a roof. So you could go for a convertible if you so wish. I want that. Yes. I will buy you 1930s Ford to the garage so we can work on you. Oh yeah, also you'll notice achievements have started working in the last update, hence why I'm getting all of them now. Not much exciting over in... I say not much exciting over in this corner. There's a Mustang. There is the Katsumoto, is that the name of it? Yes, it is indeed the name of it. Another $5,000 car. Another Clio V6. And around the rest of it, there's another Mustang up in that corner. Well, we haven't quite had a mega spending spree, but the Ford is certainly a interesting acquisition. while sitting through the loading screen heading back to my garage, I did have a thought. I'm kind of curious to see how many of the 1930s Fords I would need to be able to get a car that was, well, vaguely complete without having to actually buy any parts from the shop. So, my plan is, we're going to want, I don't know how rare they are, how likely we are to have them spawn in the junkyard, and what other cars we might find while we're doing this, but if we get a whole raft of the Fords, it doesn't look like we've got any, interesting cars here whatsoever, in fact. So we're going to be reloading this, this place. Yeah, it's kind of, see if after 2 or 3 of them I can repair enough parts to just about make a complete car in good condition. I guess we're going to be sitting through lots of loading screens to try and find stuff, but here's hoping. Well, as we head back into this... Okay, attempt 3. Maybe we will have... Ooh. Oh, we've had more luck. It's not a Ford. It's something much, much better than a Ford. We've found a DB5. It's admittedly... actually, I've seen more bits missing on a car. I'll be honest. It's not exactly in pristine condition. How much do they want for it? Yeah, that's a lot of money. But it is a DB5, after all. You can't really turn down the opportunity to restore a DB5, can you? This might also be the most valuable car. If that's the price of a junk one, I'm really interested to see how that's going to end up. I'm having that. Yes, I'm definitely wanting that. It's to the garage with you. That's the price of a junk one. That could be mega, mega money by the time we are done with that. Now that's an exciting junkyard find. Are we going to have... Can this be the holy grail of junkyards, full of interesting and exciting cars that we want, or will it just be that that's the one thing... Well, I say the one thing, there was a muscle car of some description spawned next to it. You're very orange. I approve of that much, at least. That is a really, really bright orange car. I definitely approve of that. You... the Toyota 2000 GT look-alike, or Bel Air look-alike. Yeah, I mean, I think the DB5 is a highlight. I think the DB5 would be a highlight of any junkyard find trip at any point ever. Ford might have to be put on hold briefly. Well, here are our 2 rust buckets back in the workshop. The Ford can go on to lift B, and here is what, $50,000. Now, if I was to go and sell it straight off, it is worth slightly fractionally less. So I can't turn a profit simply by selling the car straight on. But of course, there's going to be a lot of restoring work to do on this. Haven't worked on an inline 6 engine yet either, I don't think. So that's quite cool. Let's go and move this car over to the lifter. By the looks of it, I think it's supposed to be green underneath all of that rust. Or certainly by the looks of the trunk, it's supposed to be green. Or maybe it's just a green trunk on a silver car. Not sure. Where's the welder gone? There it is. No, that's not the welder. Welder! There it is. I don't even remember I put the welder back. I might have put the welder back. It might have just moved back on its own when I went to a different area. Or maybe my garage is haunted. You know, that is a perfectly possible explanation. Right! Oh, look at that. If only it was that fast to get rid of rust. It's like one of those laser rust removers. And that's provided it's all surface rust and not the entire sort of shell completely rotten. But there we go. Yeah, so we do seem to have a green boot lid, which is curious. Let's take that off, and the rear bumper tail lights are... Well, one's missing, set of tail lights. It'd be cool if there was an option to have one with guns on it. You know, the proper... Go the full Bond. Now, I don't know. The Galant parts weren't able to be repaired. I don't know. No, the Aston Martins probably can't either at the moment. I don't know. Can we sort by... arrival, wouldn't that not have... okay, down here. You would expect 31% to be repairable, at least. It's quite possible that mod parts are not repairable yet, but they are in the catalogue, so we can acquire them. We can take the entire sort of front end off, and sure, you know what? Shall we go sit in the passenger seat? I also like that they've got the correct side drive. I'll be curious to see if if it works when it comes to the test track or whatever, whether the game will be all right with putting us in the other side of the car for the driving. Anyway, shall we strip down and see what there is of this vehicle to work with? The engine actually looks relatively complete, which is surprising for a junkyard car. They tend to nowadays come with maybe a block. Certainly with the Galant, it was literally the engine block and nothing really more. I think there were some pistons and a crankshaft, and that was about it on the engine front. So this has got a largely complete engine, which is nice. I'd probably been better off, again, taking the engine out of the car, wouldn't I? I'm a moron. I keep forgetting that that is a thing that we can do. It makes it easier to work on the engine rather than have to keep lifting the car up and down and so on. One day I will remember about this sort of stuff. That day is apparently not today. Get the drive shaft out. Much shorter drive shaft than we saw on the Galant. Kind of, there's a little bit of textures doing odd things. We've got leaf springs at the back. Don't know if that was accurate to the Aston Martin. It doesn't have an oil pan in there, but there's minor stuff. It does have a completely rusted brake servo. What was that front suspension like? Fairly similar system, similar layout to the Galant. It's probably one of the simplest suspension layouts, with a fairly straightforward one at the front and a very, very straightforward one at the back. Oh, I can take all that crap off when we've got it on the thing. Right, you down, run around the workshop, don't hit yourself on the head with the car coming down. Oh, no, I've moved that to the wrong one. I'll eventually remember the order. Get away from that crapmobile. Move equipment, we want lift C over there. And then remove... Oh, did we not click on the crane properly? Excuse me, game. There we go. Pull the engine out of that. And then we will stick it over here. Mount, add engine. There we go. That's what we wanted. Okay. Yeah, largely surprisingly complete engine. Oh, I say largely surprisingly complete. It has a single camshaft bearing. Oh, we're going to have loads of bearings. It's almost as bad as the overhead valve push rods that you get in, well, the Ford, funnily enough, that I bought. I've got all the fiddly engines, at least basic suspension. Actually, before we finish for today, I will have a look at the... what's it called on the Ford, the suspension. I'm kind of curious to see what the suspension on the Ford will be. By the looks of it, we don't have very many bearings on the pistons. Probably because I didn't turn this engine upside down, they'd all have fallen out on their own. Oh, come on, there we go. And then back from there, twist the thing, and again. Yeah, no bearings at all. Entire bearing-free engine. That'll be the engine pulled apart. What suspension do we have on the Ford, considering this is a 30s car? I don't know what the least sophisticated front suspension you get on this game from standard is, but I imagine this is going to have that. Okay, so yeah, got double wishbone suspension, which is probably fancier than it would have. So not sure what it would have at the front. Not knowing this particular sort. I say not knowing this particular sort of car. I mean, I know of them. I like the hot rods style look of car, but I don't actually know very much about them. That does look a little bit more modern than what I would expect it to have. I could be completely and utterly wrong on that front, though. Right, let's get the brake servo out. Let's get the battery out while I'm here and next to it. It would be rude not to charge up the battery, and it will save me a small, might be a very large amount of money, but you know, it's better than nothing. Does it have mismatched wheels on it? No, they are all rim case. They are such poor condition. Oh, okay, no. Like when I go to take the wheel off, it looks slightly different. I wonder if possibly the wheels might, whatever wheels you put on this, or maybe it's just like a cover that goes on the wheel to make it look. Yeah, so you take that cover off to get to the bolts. That makes sense. Ignore me. I was wondering if whatever wheel you put on the car, it changed it to look like the DB5's wheels, but it's possible that that is just a cover on the on the wheels to get to the... But I find that makes logical sense because you can't see the bolts through it, so you have to take that off to get to anything. Don't worry about me. I know cars-ish. That's the best way to sum up my knowledge on cars. Slightly maybe-ish. Oh, there's a wheel hub cap in there to get out, and then a bearing as well, and that. Most of these parts will be potentially repairable. Hopefully I'll get a decent number of them. Unlike the... Oh, lift the damn thing up. Unlike the Ford, I was expecting to see a lot more of the Fords in the junkyards. I believe the spawn chance of the various cars can be changed. I think the DB5 is a relatively rare spawn. But you can, as I said, you can go into the files, the config if you like, and change it to your heart's content. If you want the junkyard to be guaranteed to spawn DB5s, you can do. But yeah, this I think is a fairly rare one compared to the Ford that I believe is a much more common. Whenever I install mods, load up the game, make sure that they all work and so on, and I've seen countless times, I say countless times, the times I've tested different ones, the Ford I've seen in the junkyard multiple times, never come across the Aston Martin. Kind of was working on the assumption that it did work, well, it didn't crash my game essentially, so I hoped that it would appear at some point, but when you have rare chances of cars spawning, you're never guaranteed to be able to get them to test that they will actually ever appear in the game. But apparently it does. Still not seen an RX-3 at this moment in time, which is a little bit of a shame. I mean, I was kind of hoping we might stumble across one while trying to search for additional Fords, but no. Apparently we're going to get a DB5 instead. And I'm okay with that, to be honest. Alright, let's get out all of these sneaky rubber bushings. I think there'll be less sneaky hidey rubber bushings on... Rubby bushings? That's a completely different sort of thing. Yeah, hopefully we will lose less in this car because it's just leaf springs at the back, and that's all pretty straightforward. We do have disc brakes at the back though, which is nice. You would normally the game's base cars, if you like, you'd all be seeing drum brakes on a car with this sort of configuration at the rear, so that's a cooler thing to have. I could be wrong. There might be a car that comes with discs and this sort of thing. I think the Corvette did, didn't it? Maybe I am completely wrong on that one. Yeah, I think the Corvette must have done. Come to think of it, so I will immediately disprove my own logic. This might borrow the back end from the Corvette. It might actually borrow the underpinnings from the Corvette in some ways, just with a shorter central drive shaft. Yeah, I'm not sure about the rest of it. It is possible though. Right, these are the... I say these are the only rubber bushings to worry about at the back actually, because we've not really got a subframe. We've just got the rear drive axle, which is all very, very straightforward. I do like a straightforward car to work on sometimes. Sometimes you want a complicated one. Sometimes you want just a nice, easy one that you can throw together relatively quick. Oh, no, these things separately. Yeah, sometimes you want just a nice, simple car that you can throw together easily or pull apart easily. All of that can come out. Can we get the fuel pump out? We can. And the tank. And then there's, well... not much exactly of the exhaust. How much does this have? Twin exhaust? No, it looks like it is just a single exhaust. I couldn't say I would know on a what's it called, on a DB5 particularly. But yes, there's a single line of exhaust. Cool. We'll get rid of the muffler from there, and then we will not stand onto the car. We will drop it down. We will stand over here, safely out of the way. And we'll grab the seats and so on. I'll actually be able to know what the rear bench is. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Don't mind me. Yeah, I'll drive the car in this state, shall we? Interior, disassemble. Oh, interior. No, not what I wanted, game. Oh, you are still in disassemble mode. Okay. No, maybe we're not. Alright. Interior, disassemble. I'm wondering if that seat might be in a little bit of a glitch. No, that seat does seem to be there. Okay, can we pull off the wheel there? Aha, we can pull that off. Okay, no, maybe it doesn't have rear seats then. Maybe they're just a visual. Ah, yeah, okay, so they're just visually set in the car. Cool, I can work with that. That makes life easy for me. Aha, sneaky windows. One sneaky window. No other sneaky windows. Maybe there is one on the other side. Got to check. Got to check these things. No sneaky windows. Fantastic. Right. That is the DB5 stripped down. Now, out of curiosity... Huh? Oh, we've made a lot of money by doing the body frame up. It's now worth $100,000. DB5s are getting increasingly valuable. Would a pristine conditioned shell be worth 100 grand? Probably not. Probably not. But either way, I mean, like, I could just sell it like that, and I've practically doubled my money, especially considering all of these bits essentially extras now down here. Although, admittedly, these engine bits are just a generic i6. They're not a specific Aston one. It will share it with the Toyota i6 car. So the engine bits are sort of going to be worth very, very little, I guess. But that's worth a lot. That's worth a lot at the moment. Well, we are going to be rich. It's basically it. We are going to be rich when we're finished with that Aston Martin. Not sure the Ford. Actually, let's have a look. Let's just go and have a look. The car is worth 4,700. If we go and move the welder over there, move equipment to lifter B. Let's fix up the Ford while we're here, because it only costs $1,000 to fix up that. Wow, that is some colours going on there. Some real colours. I mean, yeah, so that's basically, fixing that car up has basically made it to about the same amount that I paid for it. I suspect this is probably not going to be worth as much when I'm finished with it as the Aston Martin is, funnily enough. But it'll look cool. I do look forward to having my hot rod as well, but the Aston is going to take the spotlight for a little while, because that's an awful lot of money. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching. I shall link all the mods I've used in the description, so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But until next time, goodbye.